Welcome back to another one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Lotta, and today I'm going to be making one of my all-time favorite pastries, which are cream horns. Now, I spend way too much money than I'd like to admit at the Italian Center alone on cream horns. So I thought today was the perfect opportunity to finally make them myself, and I think they turned out great. So if you want to see how to make these cream horns, keep watching the video. Now the first thing we're going to do is prep our cones. So I've got 8 of these metal cones. They're all the same size. They're kind of small. If you have bigger ones, you can use bigger ones depending on the size you want your cream horns to be in the end. I just got these off Amazon. First time I'm trying them out, so we're gonna see how it goes. But basically all we're going to do is use a little bit of oil. You can also use butter. I'm just going to use a little paper towel and I'm just gonna oil these up. That will just help prevent any of our puff pastry from sticking on it, hopefully. So I'm going to do this and then we can move on. Now, if there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I refuse, and I mean I refuse to make puff pastry from scratch. I've never done it. I'm trying to put it off as long as I can because I don't want to be spending the whole day rolling and layering and then rolling again and then layering again. So that's why I use store-bought puff pastry. If you want to make your own, go ahead and do that. I think you should get a reward if you make your own, first of all. But I'm sure it'll be just as good. Maybe your homemade one will even be a little bit better. But I don't want to make it on my own. So I'm going to use half of a store-bought one. So they come in these nice little squares, which is kind of handy. I let mine thaw in the fridge overnight, so it's all ready to go. But you want to make sure it's not frozen because else you can't really work with it. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to roll our puff pastry out to a nice square. That's kind of thin, not too thin. Just like regular puff pastry size. Here's a little science fun fact for you. You don't need to put flour on your whole surface, because whatever isn't underneath your dough is actually just gonna keep getting pushed away, so it's counterproductive. So try to keep it kind of like underneath and not everywhere. That'll also minimize the mess that you make. And try to keep it as rectangular as you can. Brushing off a little bit of that extra flour that's stuck on there, but that's not really necessarily something that you have to do. Now at this point we're going to cut this into some nice even strips that are about this thick. That's maybe what, 2 centimeters-ish? Now all we're going to do is brush some plain regular water with a pastry brush onto the top of our puff pastry. And this will basically just help act like a glue so that the seams kind of stick together and they don't puff open. Just like a little bit. Now I'm going to take one of my oiled little molds and I'm going to start at the point. I'm just going to take my little puff pastry. Ooh. How do I want to do this? Just kind of gonna lay it on and then start rolling it around until the whole pipe is covered. Gonna lay this onto my tray and repeat until I have no more puff pastry. gonna make an egg wash out of 1 egg yolk and a small splash of heavy whipping cream. You can also use milk if you don't have any cream, but I just prefer using cream. Just gonna mix this together until the egg yolk is all combined with the cream. Now I was going to brush the other 4 of my cream horns with a little bit of water and then roll them in some sugar, but I think I'm just going to use the egg wash so they still get that nice golden color. Plus then I don't really have to waste it. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So the cream horns can now go into the oven that's been preheated to 392 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes. So you basically just want them to get nice and golden brown, and you also want to make sure that they kind of have a decent amount of room because they are going to puff up because it's puff pastry. I'm going to let the cream horns cool off for about 15 to 20 minutes before attempting to remove the molds. And then I'm going to let them fully cool off on a cooling rack. Okay, I'm gonna let these cool off completely before I start filling them, so I will see you in a little bit. Slight update, 2 of the cream horns are missing. They did break when I took them apart, I kind of broke them on purpose so I could eat them. So before I can snack on any more of these, let's actually get these filled and get these finished because it'll be a lot more satisfying to eat them when they're done. So for half of them, I want to use chocolate in the inside as well as on the top to decorate them. So I'm gonna melt down 50 grams of dark chocolate just in a hot water bath. Now, it's not a lot of chocolate, so I just put it in a plastic bag because I'm gonna be piping it anyways. So I'm just gonna stick that into a glass of hot water and let that do its thing. Now, we're also going to need some whipped cream to fill them. So you can use many different fillings. You can also use a custard, a cream cheese filling, or whipped cream. Now, I prefer whipped cream because it's just a lighter option. It's faster too. So I'm going to be using 250 milliliters of heavy whipping cream with a splash of vanilla and like 2 teaspoons of sugar. So I'll get this all prepared and then I will see you once it's all ready to go. So I transferred the whipped cream into a piping bag with just a plain old piping tip. So I'm actually gonna put this into the fridge for now because I don't want my whipped cream to sit outside while I do my chocolate filling stuff. Now for my sugar-coated cream horns, all I'm going to do is cover the inside with my melted chocolate by just drizzling it down. And then I'm gonna use the leftover melted chocolate to drizzle on top. want the chocolate to set before I add my whipped cream. So I'm just gonna put this into the fridge for 5 to 10 minutes until the chocolate is nice and hardened before I fill all of my cream horns with our whipped cream. Now I have enough whipped cream left to fill at least another 2 cream horns, which I would have filled if I didn't already eat them. And I also dusted my plain cream horns with just a little bit of powdered sugar. So you can store these in the fridge until you're ready to eat them. Okay. I recruited my mom to try the cream horns. Let's see what she thinks. Welchen willst du probieren? Mit Schoki oder normal? Ist gut? Soll ich auch probieren?
Pretty amazing.
With the chocolate, it's so good.
Oh my gosh.
How
Can
many
I
stars?
eat them all?
Yeah, you can eat them all. Okay. So there you have it. Our cream horns are done. I think they turned out amazing. Do they look exactly like the store-bought ones? No. Do they look similar? I would say so. And I think they taste better because you can customize all of your fillings and make them exactly how you want them. So that's going to be everything for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, you can give it a thumbs up or write me a comment down below. And as always, the whole recipe is going to be in the description box as well.